Good evening. My name is Tony Pagliocco, and I'm running for National President of Omega Delta Phi. This is episode 11 in my video web series, and in these videos, I like to answer questions from brothers about my campaign platform, and I also like to talk about challenges that we face as a fraternity and how we can work together and solve them. Tonight, though, we're going to talk about something a little different. I want to talk about a program that I would like to implement as president, and it covers a lot of different bases, but at the same time, it also has a lot of value for our undergrads as well as our alumni. So there's been a lot of conversation in the last 24 hours about alumni relations, and actually the whole scope of the conversation on Facebook was about the Seventh Visions magazine and how if people would pay for a print subscription to it. And it sort of made me realize that I wanted to bring this topic up now, since the topic of alumni relations was heavily discussed in a lot of these conversations. So what I want to talk to you about tonight is what I call Night Connect. What Night Connect is a program that we would implement on a national level. We would do it in conjunction and in cooperation with the National Alumni Association. And what we do in this, and what Night Connect's true value is that we would connect alumni who are already in the industry and the workforce, who have already established career paths for themselves, and pair them up with an undergrad that could act as a mentor in a way to help the undergrad transition from college life to career life. So how do I know this would work? Reason why is because I've already done it in numerous cases for brothers. I've worked very closely with some of my brothers from my home chapter, Jesus Chuchu Apodaca and Vincent Salgado and a few other guys. And as they graduated and moved into the workforce, they were able to lean heavily on my experience and ask questions, even from the simplest forms of, how do I create a resume, or how can I make my resume stand out, to handling bigger issues like what should I be studying in the field of computer science? What areas are the hot areas that I can capitalize on to be able to make myself stand out as a potential candidate for employment? Now, when you're talking about a program like this, it's going to require cooperation from a lot of people. This isn't something that's just going to happen. People actually have to engage for it to work. But the way it would work on a core level is that you would have an undergrad that would apply for a Night Connect mentor, and then you would have a pool of alumni that would volunteer their services to be a mentor to these undergrads. You could pair them up by industry, you could pair them up by major. It doesn't mean that you have to be in the same living area as that brother, because with all the technologies we have today, like Skype and Facebook and texting and everything else, you're able to communicate and talk about issues from across the nation. So, as an undergrad, the workflow would be like this. As an undergrad, I apply for a mentor, and you would be paired up with an alumni who is in your field of work or where you want to be working. And then the two of you have a set of goals that you want to achieve within, whether it be 6 months, a year, but there would be some sort of tangible goals that you'd be able to have like a checklist for. And while it would be different for different brothers in different fields of work, there would still be standard ones in being able to figure out how you could be able to positively use the experience of the person who's already in the industry and apply that to the person who's looking to get into the industry. What this does is two things. Number one, it engages our alumni with our undergrads. It ties them up and reinforces that networking concept that we talked about. When you rush, you hear about the concept of, join our brotherhood, and you'll have a network of brothers to pull resources from. This is one of those things that will do that. The second thing it does is that it allows for a cycle of growth where you have an alumni mentor, he helps the undergrad moves into the career, into the workforce, and then they become a mentor to somebody else. I know this can work because I've seen it work. We're doing it on a very informal level in a lot of cases. Brother Rafael Torres has done a great job of mobilizing our brothers into different verticals, whether it's engineering or graphics or art or business. There's many different, positive avenues to do that, but there's nothing formalized yet. And I feel that Night Connect is a positive step for us to engage our alumni, help our undergrads get into better positions of employment, and then have that go on like I said, in a cycle for many years to come. Now, this plan does need more elaboration. It needs more feedback from brothers. It needs to be polished. But it's something that I feel would be a very easy win for us to implement and then allow for better facilitation and cooperation between the National Alumni Association and the National Executive Council. Because right now, with the Board of Directors, the National Executive Council, and the NAA, they seem to be all working in the same direction. However, they're not working in parallel. So you have a group over here doing this thing, and then you have another group over here doing this thing, and the Board of Directors over here doing another thing. But this would be a chance for us to actually work together and better intertwine our resources and be able to put out something that's going to be beneficial to everyone. I noticed that when a lot of conversations go on regarding activities in the Brotherhood, a lot of brothers like to focus on the tactical, meaning the actions that are going to impact us right now. There's a smaller percentage of brothers that actually look at the strategic vision, which means the long term, meaning 3, 5, 6 years down the road. So to use an example with this conversation that they're having about seventh visions today, they're talking about, well, should we print this out, and should we send it out to universities, and should we send it out to the chapters? And there is good value in it, and I said there was good value in it because it's nice to have those for recruitment purposes. It's nice for us to share our vision and what we do to other universities, and that's great. But there's also a logistical part of this that we have to keep in mind, where it's like 5 years from now, after the administrations change, who's going to be still responsible for making sure these all, this process keeps going? It's very important that what we do, we make sure that it can stand the test of time. Because if we only do it for a short run, and then we change who's in charge, and we change board members, and things fall off the radar, it doesn't reflect great on us. That looks like we didn't have the longevity to keep small projects going. Something like Night Connect, I feel, is something that could go on for a long time and constantly be doing this round of value where it's like one alumni comes in, mentors a younger brother, the younger brother graduates, goes into the workforce, takes on his own mentor, and then by that time you really established a pattern of growth, not only on the undergrad level, but on the alumni level as well. So that is what I call Night Connect. And it is something I would like to explore, and I would definitely think that there's positive in it for everyone in the organization. And I look forward to hearing your thoughts about it. And I would love to hear feedback on it, and tell me if you think it's a good idea. Tell me if you think it's a bad idea. Tell me why. Because without information being brought back from the brothers, that is how we have to make important decisions. We have to know collectively who we're impacting and what are we getting back for what we're doing. Because anything that we do that doesn't bring value to the organization is waste. And I feel that in a lot of places right now, we generate a lot of waste. We're great at coming up with ideas, but in some cases, we need to be better on executing on those ideas. And that's my goal with this. So thank you very much for your time tonight. I appreciate you watching this video. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can reach me through my website, TonyP2015.com. You can also get a hold of me on Skype, Facebook, and any other medium that you choose. Once again, I appreciate your time. Have a great night.